Writing like a historian. Why is it important? Writing is both an essential part of the learning process and one of the most important ways that historians communicate their ideas and conclusions to one another. The act of writing forces you to take your knowledge of a subject and other information that is available to you on that subject and organize it all into a coherent and concise presentation. What is the goal? When you write historical works, your goal should be to make sure you are not just repeating what you find in other sources, but instead you should think critically about the material you are working with, usually primary and secondary sources, in order to construct a compelling argument from that material that answers questions central to your topic. So what is good historical writing? Good historical writing is an analytical, precise, accurate, and interesting. Once they have completed their research, the best historians are able to construct a compelling narrative that makes sense of the evidence they have gathered without forcing the facts to fit into a predetermined analytical structure. The hardest part of this process is deciding what to include and what to leave out, because there is usually far too much evidence and not nearly enough space on the page or the book. How do I write good historical works? First, you should research your topic intently. Your writing is your chance to showcase all that you have learned about a topic. Once you have your research organized, you can then begin creating a draft piece. In this class, it will typically be in an essay format. When you finish your draft, you begin the editing process. What is the editing process? The editing process is where you begin to reread your draft to see, for example, whether the paper is well organized, the transitions between paragraphs are smooth, and that your evidence really backs up your argument. What am I looking for in my essay? During the editing process, you are looking to refine 6 key elements. These 6 elements are content, overall structure, structure within paragraphs, clarity, style, and citations. Content. The content of your essay is what's in it. When editing, ask yourself questions about content like, have I done everything this assignment requires? Is it accurate and backed up by facts? Have I included all the information necessary to get my point across to the reader? Overall structure. The structure is simply the organization of information. Questions to focus on should be, is my thesis clearly stated in my introduction? Are my paragraphs organized in a logical order with sufficient information? This also extends to the structure within your paragraphs. Ask yourself, is each paragraph its own idea? And is my topic sentence clearly stated in each of these paragraphs? Clarity. Clarity is arguably the most important element to your writing. Your work needs to be clear and concise. If no one can grasp or follow along while reading your essay, it is essentially useless. Making sure you focus on writing clear and concise is key. Make sure you are clearly expressing your ideas with appropriate vocabulary and that the reader should be able to understand. Make sure you are explaining your points every step of the way. Style. When checking your style of writing, make sure you have used an appropriate tone. In history, this is usually formal and informative and sometimes persuasive. Make sure you are consistent with your pronouns and use gender-neutral terms when applicable. Citations. Citations are arguably on par with clarity on the importance in historical writing. Citations are you appropriately giving credit where it's due. You cite the sources you obtained your information from in order to validate your work, and also gives the reader the opportunity to find and read the same source to see if they agree with your interpretation. Now you know the basics. Now that you understand the basic elements of writing like a historian, you can now begin to comb through the past and make valuable connections to events, people, and institutions that affect every aspect of our world. We, as historical writers, get to bridge the gap between the past and the present. Isn't that awesome? Your understanding of the world is unique, and your perspectives are your own. That is why historical writing changes, and we are constantly uncovering new perspectives and ideas that through historical writing we can create a way to communicate among other people and continue this long unraveling of the past. Thank you.